Hi y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm the Southern Nerdista, and on today's episode we're going to finish up the previous story arc with Doctor Who. The gas mask zombies are on the rise as the plague spreads across war-torn London. Previously on Doctor Who, the Doctor has returned as his ninth regeneration, and he's picked up a new companion in Rose Tyler. Together they save Earth and humanity from the living plastic and nesting consciousness. They then travel to the year 5 billion in the future, where we meet the Face of Boe and Lady Cassandra, who will return. And during this trip we learn the Doctor is a Time Lord. Then to 1869 Wales to hunt zombies with Charles Dickens. Back in the present, an alien spaceship crashes into the Thames River, putting the planet on red alert. The Doctor, along with her mom Jackie, sort of ex-boyfriend Mickey, and new friend and future Prime Minister Harriet Jones, work together to bring down the Slitheen. From London, a distress signal takes the Doctor and Rose deep below the Utah desert, where they discover the last of the Doctor's mortal enemy, the Dalek, held prisoner in an alien museum, and we pick up a new companion, Adam Mitchell. Into the future we go again to the year 200,000, where the Doctor, Rose, and Adam stop the mighty Jagrafess from continuing to enslave humanity and slow its development, but not before Adam tries to mess with time for personal gain and gets permanently banned from the TARDIS. But Rose takes a page from Adam's book and tries to rewrite her own past when she saves her dad from the car crash meant to kill him. In the end, her dad sacrifices himself to put the time back the way it's supposed to be, and the Doctor shows Rose has had a positive influence on his surly, unforgiving demeanor. The Doctor and Rose chase a metal cylinder through the time vortex until it lands in 1941 London during the Blitz, where they meet American time agent Captain Jack Harkness and a young lady named Nancy who knows more than she's saying about the gas mask zombies. There have been references to Bad Wolf almost every episode, and we learned the last great time war between the Daleks and Time Lords ended when the Doctor obliterated everyone to save the universe. But as the only survivor, the Doctor has to live with the guilt of what he's done, and Time Lords have very long lives and multiple regenerations. Spoiler warning, guys, the Southern Nerdista does give spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, pause this video, go watch the episode, and then come back. If you don't care about spoilers, then just carry on, my wayward companions. Alright, so the beginning of the episode is a recap of the last episode, up until this point where the Doctor steps forward and orders the gas mask zombies back to their room like a parent would. All the zombies stop, including Jamie, who's in another house far from where the Doctor and companions are. Then the ones in the hospital do actually return to their beds, and Jamie leaves. With relief, the Doctor says, "Really glad that worked. Those would have been terrible last words." Then we get the opening title sequence. When we come back from the title sequence, Jack is explaining his con. Basically, he would find some space junk, throw it through time, and then convince a time agent that it was worth something, and he would get half up front. Then, oops, a bomb drops on it. So sorry, guy. And before the buyer can claim his property and figure out the scam. He says the London Blitz is good for this, as well as Pompeii. Just set your watch for Volcano Day, something the 10th Doctor will repeat in an episode where he actually visits Pompeii on Volcano Day. The Doctor does not approve and points to the zombies as proof that this is a bad idea. Jack swears again that the ship was an empty, burnout medical transport and can't possibly have anything to do with what's going on. Nancy is still in the house, and she gets caught by the family. But they threaten to call the cops, and she says that she knows their dirty little secrets, and instead they give her everything she asks for so that she'll keep that information to herself. Back at the hospital, the Doctor, Rose, and Jack go to room 802, where the first victim, Jamie, was taken. Jack uses a sonic blaster to open the door, and the Doctor tells Jack he went to the factory where the blasters were made once. This isn't entirely true, but that is a story for way down the line with the 12th Doctor. Jack replies that the factory blew up, and the Doctor says, like I said, once. He also notes that a banana grove is there now. Seems like a ridiculous exchange in the moment, but bananas will have a running gag throughout this episode and even some future ones. Inside the room, they find smashed glass, toys all over the floor, pictures in crayon on the walls, and recording of the empty child repeatedly asking for his mom. As the tape continues to play, the Doctor works out what's happened. The war orphans were living close to the bomb site, and what if one of them wandered too close and something altered his DNA? The tape stops, but the child continues to ask for Mummy. The Doctor realizes his mistake. He sent the zombies to their room, and this is Jamie's room. The trio turn around and find the child in the room with them. Jack points his blaster at him, but the Doctor has switched it with a banana. Running gag. The doctor opens up the wall with the sonic blaster that he took from Jack, telling Jack not to drop the banana because it's a good source of potassium. I don't know why I find these banana jokes to be so funny, but I do. Maybe it's because they're so out of place considering everything that's going on around them, but I just think it's hilarious. They seal Jamie in the room, but they're trapped by more zombies in the hall. There's some on each end. And Jack asks if the doctor has anything like his sonic blaster that he can use. And the doctor's about to say he has a sonic screwdriver, but stops short and just says that it's sonic. And Jack demands to know what he has. And finally the doctor screams, "It's a screwdriver!" As much as the doctor can do with that thing, it's still more household tool than weapon. But you don't really realize it until that moment because he uses it for everything. Rose pulls Jack's arm down and blasts the floor below their feet as the zombies close in on them and they fall through to the room below, only to find more zombies. They dash into another room, sealing the door, but it's a storeroom and now they're trapped. As the doctor and Jack argue back and forth about the value of a sonic screwdriver, which will be brought up by other characters in future episodes, Jack literally disappears. Meanwhile, Nancy is back at the hideout with the war orphans, and one is typing a letter. And as Nancy talks to them, the typewriter moves on its own, writing "Are you my mummy?" over and over. In the storm room, Jack explains where he went through a disconnected radio with 51st century technology and tech that the child also seems to have, because Jamie interrupts them on this disconnected radio saying, "I can hear you, I'm coming to find you," which is not creepy at all. It just almost gave me nightmares the first time I watched it. The doctor doesn't think Jack is coming back, and he doesn't understand why Rose has so much faith in him until Rose tells him that she trusts Jack because he reminds her of the doctor, except he dates and dances. And the doctor's offended that Rose assumes he can't dance. As they start to dance, the doctor studies Rose's hands because they're healed from the rope burns that she got flying through downtown London. She tells him about the nanogenes, and they are teleported onto Jack's ship where the nanogenes also heal the doctor's hands that had burnt on the TARDIS console when they were chasing the cylinder through time. Jack explains that he wasn't always a con man. He only left the time agency when he discovered they had stolen 2 years of his memories. He points out that the doctor might be right not to trust him because he doesn't know what he did during those 2 years. Nancy has made it back to the crash site thanks to help from the family that she's blackmailing, and gets caught trying to sneak in. She's handcuffed to a table with a soldier who has that lightning scar on the back of his hand, and she begs not to be left with him, but the others don't listen. She sits helplessly as the soldier turns into one of the zombies right in front of her. The doctor, Jack, and Rose also reach the crash site. Rose offers to distract the guards, but Jack says he knows the commander, and Rose isn't his type, but the soldier has also been infected and transforms in front of Jack. They find Nancy still tied up, singing to the sleeping zombie. They free her, then go searching for the Chula transport. When Jack tries to break into the ambulance, it sets off an alarm, which wakes all the zombies at Albion Hospital. They start to move toward the crash site. They get the transport open, and it is indeed empty. But the doctor asks Rose what they should have expected to find inside, and Rose realizes it should have been full of nanogenes. All of those nanogenes escaped, programmed to heal everything they came across, and what did they find first when it crashed? A dead child wearing a gas mask. Since the nanogenes had never seen a human before, they assumed this was the pattern and changed everything they encountered to fit it. The zombies and Jamie approach the site, and Nancy starts to cry, saying it's all her fault, and the doctor realizes that Nancy is not Jamie's sister, but his mother. She had hidden this fact from everyone, including Jamie. The doctor tells her to go to Jamie and tell him the truth, and she does, hugging him. The nanogenes surround them, recognizes the matching DNA, and changes Jamie back. The doctor is delighted when he unmasks a fully healed Jamie. This child was dead, and now he's alive. Meanwhile, Jack is transported away with a plan, as the bomb is moments away from hitting. As it flies toward them, Jack's ship catches it in a tractor beam, with Captain Jack sitting on the bomb like a bull rider. Printed on the side of the bomb is Schlechter Wolf, bad wolf in German. Well, more like bad as in inadequate rather than like big bad wolf. And German is not one of my languages, so excuse any pronunciation mistakes. The bomb is going to detonate, but Jack has it in stasis, and for now it won't hold forever. The doctor asks him to get rid of it safely, and Jack says his goodbyes, and he, his ship, and the bomb fly away. The doctor updates the nanogenes programming, then sends them hurtling toward everyone infected, crying out triumphantly, "Everybody lives, Rose, just this once, everybody lives, which is in sharp contrast to his statement in episode 2 when he says everything dies while allowing Lady Cassandra to dry out. Everyone is healed completely, even to the point of regrowing limbs. On his ship, the computer tells Jack because of the bomb, there is a 100% chance of his death. There's nothing he can do. But Rose and the Doctor show up with the TARDIS and save the day once again. The Doctor sets the TARDIS on its next course as he and Rose dance to a Glenn Miller song to end the episode. All right, this is another hit, mostly because it's a continuation of the last episode, which was also a big hit for me. I love the plot, I love the characters, I love the dialogue. Everything about this is witty and fast-paced and just oh so delicious. Next time on Doctor Who, we're back in present-day Cardiff, Wales to recharge the TARDIS on the Rift. The Doctor, Rose, and Jack meet up with Mickey and encounter an old foe who is hatching a scheme that could destroy the entire planet. Okay, so on my last episode, I made the comment that John Barrowman was a national treasure we don't deserve, and then while putting this episode together, I regretfully learned some uncomfortable truths about him, and those I won't rehash here, but I wanted it to be known that I don't and never will condone that behavior, and from him, Noel Clarke, anybody. So I will endeavor to be better with my words in the future. That being said, thanks for watching my video, guys. And if you liked what you saw, check out my other videos and hit that subscribe button below. And remember, you don't have to be an expert to be a fan. See y'all next time.